What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the official Cliffy J, and I'm back with another video. And today, I'm gonna be giving you guys another challenge ranking, and I'm gonna be doing my top 10 current challengers. This is the men edition. Next time, we'll do the woman edition. And I did this video last year, and my list has actually surprisingly drastically changed, partly because my opinion has changed on certain players, partly because some players have done a season and I put them on here because this time I'm going to be counting rookies. So let's go ahead and get into the criteria for this list and not waste any of your time. And the criteria for this list is pretty simple, just like it was last year. Going off overall skill set, recent performances, consistency, and politics. So, of course, the rookies won't have the highest chance to be super high on the list simply based off the fact they don't have consistency and recent performance. They only have one performance, they don't have multiple performances. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the last thing. I am not looking at players that haven't done a season since like before Ride or Dies and stuff like that. So it'll be like players from Ride or Dies 39, 31, All Stars, and I'm mainly looking at more recent. So if a player was on 40 or 41 or 39 or All Stars 5, if they were on one of those seasons, but their other season before that, I'll kind of just put those two together. So if a player has a strong season 37 and a strong season 39, then they can, be on the list. But if they only have 37, 36, 35, but they don't have 38, they're not on 37. I mean, they're not on 39, not on 40, not on 41. Obviously, that's a little too far back. So I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Let's go ahead and get into the honorable mentions. And for the honorable mentions, I've got Horacio, Jay, Ed, Will, Corey Wharton, and Justin. And the reason that I don't have most of these players on here is because maybe they don't have a higher enough level of performance. They don't have enough of a track record in terms of someone like Will or Justin, even maybe an Ed, or they just aren't, well rounded enough. Like Horacio, I don't know if he's well rounded enough. His strongest performance is 39, I would say, but before that's 38. So he definitely could be on there, but he also has 40 where he went home really early. He never really showed to be great mentally, not a bad mental competitor, but I'm going to give these other players a slight leg up over him, but he is definitely my number 11. I could definitely see the argument for him being on here, but I'm gonna go ahead and have him right outside of the list. Same with the Will. I think Will just would have needed maybe a finals performance, and Corey needs to just get a little better. Obviously, he's not as skilled as most of these other players to even be on the list. So let's go ahead and get into the top 10. And at number 10, I've got Theo. And he's dropped from his last year's placement of number 4. And that's mainly because the people above him are just more well-rounded in terms of skill set, and I can't really make a solid argument because his streak of consistency and performance is good, and that's why he's in the top 10. He hasn't actually had a bad season really ever in his career. So of course, yeah, I get why I got him up here. 40 wasn't a bad season for him. It's some impressive aspects of the season. He wasn't at his very best. And same with 41. He wasn't at his very best, but the impressive aspects make it to where I feel like his skill set is still at the level, on top of the fact that he still can perform, he still can do things in elimination, and can still at least put on a solid finals performance in one of the hardest finals in challenge history. And at number 9, I've got Cedric. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about number 8 also at the same time, which is Yermy. I feel like it's as high as I could do for the rookies. Not saying that they're not elite, because I actually think they are two elite competitors and probably even elite challengers overall. They showed solid political games. Also, built perfect for a final. They both are, but I want to just see if they can do it on another season, perform at or around the same level against higher level male vets. Because Turbo was the only guy that was really giving them that run for their money, really on their level and stuff like that. Who I would say Turbo is probably better than they are, due to his consistency, overall performance throughout his career and recent history. Of course, he's still been basically elite on this season, the season before that. And if it wasn't for the crowd working against him, he probably would have been elite on Ride or Die. So yeah, I think I think that Jeremy and Cedric are both very good at the challenge, but like I said, I need to see it one more season, and that's it. And also, I gotta throw in the fact that CT was getting up with them as soon as he started to like slightly close the gap. As soon as he starts to get in a little bit of better shape, he was starting to show them that in the final, maybe it ain't just that easy to do him like that, or in some of these dailies that aren't like heights over water. He's going to be able to really get up with them. So I'm not going to jump off the cliff and say they are at the top level, but if they perform at this level on another season, they'll be in some crazy conversations. I think we all know that. And at number 7, I've got Emmanuel. Emmanuel was really like the first new Jordan, unless y'all counting Turbo. He was really like the first new Jordan. I think some people are starting to forget his level and the amount of skill that he's shown. And he has 2 seasons, not just one. And he has elite endurance. And I would say he's very good politically. As we've seen on 37, he was good with the vets that have done many seasons together and stuff like that. Obviously, he's pretty well in terms of his overall athletic ability, and he's decent mentally. So yeah, no, I definitely think that. And he's also proven himself around the same level as a Cedric or a Yermy. I would say Cedric and Yermy had a more difficult set of competitions, where I would say Emmanuel has probably went against slightly better male competition. And I'll also say this: I had him 10th on my last list, and just due to some fluctuations and stuff like that, I actually got him at 7 now. And that's mostly because a few players are dropped off the list, whether due to inactivity or due to the fact that they just didn't perform at the level that I was expecting them to. So yeah, we got Emmanuel at 7. But I would say that him, Jeremy, and Cedric are probably interchangeable. And at number 6, I've got Bananas. It's kind of weird because I think Bananas is really a high variance player at this point in his career, and it's mostly because of his reputation and the fact that he comes in every season in shape. They're always going to be afraid of him, but he's always going to be a solid performer, and that'll lead to having solid finishes and finishes where you're going home first, second, third. Like that's just what's gonna happen. Last year I had him 8th. I actually am higher on Bennett than I was last year. So take that how you will. But yeah, we already know the level of Bananas. I just don't think he is obviously in his prime anymore. I think he's just so heavily targeted. I don't really think he's gonna have that high of a chance. That's kind of why I got him at 6, because skill level wise, he's probably still in the top 3. But it's just, you know, I can't trust. But and also in terms of dailies, he has not been anywhere near as elite as he was in his prime. Like he's has became just a good daily performer. That's what shows me this level of male veterans was very low. in comparison to the past couple seasons, in my opinion. And at number 4, I've got Kylan. And this is mainly just because I'm higher on one, maybe two other players than I was before. But I actually think that my opinion on Kylan is around the same, if not actually higher. I felt like, because my last list I was taking into account potential. Now it's not as much about potential; it's just about your skill and what you displayed recently, and a little bit about potential, but your consistency too. So Kylan has all the skills to be an all-time great. He's got to patch up that swimming. He's super smart and an elite elimination performer while also being an elite daily performer. I just didn't know he was that bad at swimming. Like, I probably honestly wouldn't have had him as high as I did, but I kind of do stand on it because I still think he is, if not better than I thought he was, because I didn't know he was that good of a daily performer. While we already knew he was a great elimination performer, he just continues to prove it. It wasn't a fluke season. He is one of those guys. And at number 3, I've got Fessy. And for me, Kylan and Fessy are interchangeable. A couple days ago, I said Kylan was better. I really don't know who I think is better. They're both elite in dailies, both really good in eliminations. Kylan might be a little more well-rounded, obviously. Both very skilled. Kylan being the smarter, while Fessy is more athletic. I'll slightly lean Fessy due to that athleticism, and neither has shown that they're great politically, but I kind of might actually lean Kylan's like gameplay style over Fessy's, even though I think Fessy's might work out better for him in the long run because he won't have, other than the way he did Nelson, I don't think he's really someone that's gonna be just snaking and all that. Like, so I definitely think that other than double agents, period, he's not gonna just be snaking and all that. So like, I just trust Fessy a little bit more. It's really interchangeable. Like, Fessy's elite, Kylan's elite. What I need from both of them so they can move to the upper echelon of all-time great status is a really solid finals performance. We need that, like an impressive one. If they can give us that, one of them or both of them, they can go into a level where they're in that top 15 conversations already, in my opinion. And at number 2, I've got Turbo. And I know this is a hot take, but I don't care. I can't stand the Turbo disrespect. He's proven time and time again at this point that he's an elite performer in 3 of the major categories: dailies, finals, and elimination. There's no debate against that, and I won't argue. He was the top male vet, and then he was the main reason that him and Sydney were able to beat Leo and Ashley in elimination. He contributed like majorly for their team on day 2 of the final. And then they lost mainly because of Olivia and Yermi's major comeback. And the fact that they had their lead nerfed so many times in one of the hardest finals, I can't really sit here and disrespect him or say that he didn't perform or say that he didn't show his level in being one of the best challengers of all time. I don't care what anyone says. It's very clear he is literally that, one of the best challengers of all time. And let's also add this: Turbo was also sick during this season. That has to be taken into account. It undoubtedly affected his endurance. It undoubtedly affected him, and he was still a high level performer for majority of the season. Yeah, it was a little bit of them challenges later in the season, but him and Sydney were still able to be such a great team. That's not just because of Sydney. There's no way that's even what it is. I don't care what anyone says. I was able to watch the show like everybody else. He is very smart, high level performer, and I don't think this should really be an opinion on whether he is a top 10 male challenger. I get if you guys might not say he's number two, but if you have him outside of the top five, I think you're crazy. You at worst he could be seven. At worst, I feel like that's like overglazing other people, but that's at worst, bro. I don't care. He deserves to be where he's at. Him and Sydney easily could have won this final if it had a different format and things like that. They were the best team. That wasn't just because Sydney was an elite performer. And at number one, I've got Jordan. Once again, he is at number one. Like, obviously, the guy's at number one. He is the best challenger currently, one of the greatest of all time. It's nothing really else to be said. I don't think I have to prove or argue or debate why Jordan's at one. I think most people know why he's at one, but I'll go ahead and let it be known why he was the best male daily performer on season 40. Also was an elite performer on the Challenge 38. He's won multiple eliminations in recent history, mainly on 38, of course. And he's also proven in multiple finals in recent history that he is an elite final performer, arguably the best. I mean, not even arguably, the best final performer in challenge history, especially for the men, and one of the greatest swimmers in challenge history. Probably the second greatest male swimmer in challenge history, if not number one. Uh, Probably the best endurance athlete in challenge history. Um, a great daily performer. I mean, it's not really much else to be said. One of the all-time great elimination performers. Like, he is one of the GOATs for a reason, and he's in his prime right now. So, of course, he's going to be at number one. There you guys go. And that is the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Push the notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new lit banger. Peace.